You know something? Maybe Sleeping Beauty didn't want to wake up. Well, according to this book called Beauty Sleep, it may be the secret to keeping you young and youthful. Dr. Michael has appeared on Oprah, CNN, The Today Show, and now is about to connect with us live. Dr. Michael, it's great to welcome you to our show.
Hi, Conn. It's good to be with you.
All right, Doctor, is it possible to get a quality good night's sleep?
I am indeed here to tell you that that is a possibility.
Well, that's good to know. Now, Michael, you have this brand new book. What would surprise us about sleep?
Well, Beauty Sleep is a book that really looks at how can sleep make you look better, feel better, even lose weight. There's now clinical data to show that if you're getting a better night's rest, that your body's metabolism actually acts more appropriately. People who are sleep deprived, their metabolism slows down and their appetite levels raise. So we often find that people who are sleep deprived are actually getting heavier.
Well, that's great news to hear. Now we just have to figure out how to make it happen. In your book, what would be most interesting to us that you uncovered in your research?
Number one, having a regular sleep schedule. If the body knows and the brain knows when it's supposed to go to sleep, it has a much greater likelihood of doing that. Having a variable bedtime or wake-up time can really confuse the brain quite a bit. So that's certainly one thing I would talk about with people. A second thing I would talk about with people is their bedroom environment. How is the bedroom environment conducive to a good night's rest? Several critical pieces within the bedroom environment, but it turns out the pillow is one of the most critical pieces for overall getting a good night's rest. And that has a lot to do with head and neck cervical support. If your head and neck are not supported appropriately, it'll cause neck strain, which will actually cause pain, which will pull you out of some of the deeper stages of sleep. So I would say number two is check out your bedroom environment, make sure it's dark, make sure it's quiet, make sure you got the right equipment, including a good pillow to help for a good night's rest.
You know, doctor, recently I've heard that eating right before bed is not necessarily really good for you. What guidelines would you suggest to us?
Sure. Well, when we look at kind of guidelines for eating, there's a couple of different things. So first of all, generally speaking, the body was meant to digest food sitting or standing. So we don't want to eat a meal and then go lie down, which is a lot of times the case, especially if people are getting home from work late, not able to get a whole meal together, things of that nature. So oftentimes I ask people to make dinner to be one of the smaller meals of the day if possible, and they should have their last meal approximately 4 to 5 hours before they're going to be lying down to get a good night's rest.
Well, certainly I'm going to have to practice some new eating habits, but when it comes to sleeping in a dream world, how many hours should we be getting, doctor?
Well, you know, it's going to vary from person to person. I'm a 6.5-hour guy, but my wife needs 8.5 hours. So oftentimes what I tell people to do is I say, look, if you're waking up 5 to 10 minutes before your alarm goes off, then you're probably getting a good amount of rest. But if you're hitting that snooze button 3 or 4 times, or you're falling asleep as soon as your head hits the pillow, those are two surefire signs that you're probably not getting enough rest.
Well, I'm guilty on both fronts. Not only do I fall asleep right away, doctor, but I also hit that snooze alarm maybe 5 or 6 times. You've given us some great tips on sleeping better, but one thing I know is the pillow is so important, and you've teamed with Carpenter. What have you guys created?
Well, Carpenter has made an effort, in fact, to look at using the best materials, the highest quality, and to really get into the technology of how to create a better pillow. Together, Carpenter and I have actually designed pillows specifically for different problems, everything from neck pain to snoring. It's pretty amazing some of the technology that we've been able to develop together.
Well, if it'll help with my beauty sleep, I'm going to pick up one of those pillows. Well, doctor, thank you so much for your time. Thanks so much for your book, and more importantly, happy holidays.
Happy holidays to you as well.
If you want to learn more about Dr. Michael and his extraordinary book called Beauty Sleep, log on to our Get Connected website at conntv.com. When we come back, we've got a super surprise guest that I have been waiting all year long to interview, and she's on our set when we come back.